Hi everybody, it's Colin here from Woodthorp International. We have some trees. We've been practicing making some spruce trees, so I'll just explain how we've done it. We've been experimenting doing a different technique because America has a lot of spruce trees and I'm wanting to replicate a proper, a tree what looks like a spruce tree. So these are the first goes. Now we've done different ways, but there's no seafoam on where some of the other trees we've made for my layouts have been seafoam and bought trees. But because I need hundreds, God knows how many in this far corner, going right up to the ceiling from the 4 foot mark, right up to make this mountain where they used to take to show how they used to do logging as a heritage area and to show them bringing the trees down on like a funicular system. So I need quite a lot. So it's going to be cheaper to make them. Okay, you have to buy the materials and stuff like that. But basically, this little one here was our first go. And what we got was some bamboo kebabs. Quite long. Longer than what I need them, but it don't matter, I can just cut them down. Already pointed, so I don't have to mess about shaving the ends to give a pointed end. Now, the wire we use was 0.5, so half a mil. And it was, it holds itself when you curl it, as you can see. Starting small ones at the top to longer ones at the bottom. Now, a lot of these, as you see, the curl on the wire is because that's what the spruce trees are like. They have this droop, and most of the growth is down, but there is colour on top. So we tried that one, and we put 4mm spring on it first, then 2mm spring over the top. So just going back to the wire, once the wire was into here, we then ran super glue down to hold them in place so they didn't slide out, basically. We did stain the wood slightly different. The first two we stained after putting the glue on. Now this one, because it's been taller, with more glue on, and it ran down and stopped the stain going on. So we have to be careful with the glue, which we've learned, but that a bear could have been at that. And I don't mean the hairy controller teddy bear. But that was the first, and after we'd put those on, we put a coarse grass scatter on. Now it says that's coarse. If that's coarse, I'm a flipping fisherman, because that doesn't look coarse at all. Now it's something we had in. All of these are what we've got in. So we were just trying different things. Now this one, we put 6mm static grass on first. Now the other thing we did do on some of them, and I think these two, we tried to colour the actual wire with a those pens, like a felt pen. These we painted with the stain. of the wood. The same oils as what's on that, the trestle bridge. So we put 6mm on that one, then 2mm, and then the scatter over the top. Now that one doesn't look like a spruce tree. It did up to a point, but what we tried was a 10mm. Now the colour doesn't matter, you can't see it, but we just wanted to try the different length. Basically, if I cut that off to there, it's more like a tree. Which is okay. I mean, this is all part of, trying different techniques and stuff. Now, we do know that we're going to have to be more consistent with the colours, as in to be able to get it again. Like these, we would be able to get them again. Those I've just got from shows or from a shop, what they've put together themselves to make some money. Now that's all right, but if some of these might have come from a shop what's shut down, and I don't mean Hatton's, our local one, which was a very small shop, that's gone, he's retired. So that's our favourite, that one, barring the bareness of the stick. That then is our next favourite, then that one, and that one, just in a spruce tree. So we're going to combine the different things to make it work. Now, to get the static grass to stick, we've got one of those WWS boxes where you lay it on top of the box, and then you would get your stick and hold it above and it rises up. Now what we did find, it wouldn't do 6mm, so we just used a normal static grass applicator, and then we did the 4 and the 2 with the box holding it above the box and it rising to it. The scatter we just dropped on, twisted it round and dropped it on. But it's quite interesting trying all these new techniques and different ways. Now, it doesn't so much matter about, in a way, some of the shapes, because when they're all close together, when this, say if this and this was together, and we'd have to, you don't see some of the shape, so it doesn't matter too much. But some of the outside ones, what are the closest to the camera, do definitely want to be right, but we'll make them all the same. The reason for doing this is because of the work I've been doing, and I'll show you that on the, going around the Helix, the rock formation, and I want to put an odd one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the very bottom so it's maybe grown outwards from the rock in a gap, and then naturally it will go towards the, the light. So, and I want to cut 2 or 3 for that, but because I haven't got any spruce trees, I wanted to have a go. And the further away you get from them, the better the look. Now, I don't mean that because they look bloody awful. Oh, just the other thing we're going to do with the scatter is we're going to get 2 different colours, a very light and a dark one. So it gives it a bit of new growth and old growths kind of thing, instead of it just being one. But we're just, like I say, just practicing, trying to get it right. That's what I've been up to. What we're also going to try which we've ordered, is some wire with green already on it. It's either painted or it's a fine plastic coat. Until it said we've got 2 types coming, just to see. I just thought I'd share how I got that onto the Helix. Now I'm trying something new, making my own plaster bandage with some flexi. It's got a plastic feel for it, netting, and I just thought it was going to be a cheaper way of doing it, and I'd just try it. Now, as you can see, there looks like there's a bit of a well in there, and there is. And the reason for that is, in my story, that up here I'm maybe going to build a lake higher up what feeds this, and in time the rock was soft and washed all the soft stuff away across here and made this groove for the water to fall down. And that's why they decided to bring the trestle bridge round in front of it, because this was protecting any mass splashing from a continuous wetness, where in general weather it gets wet and dry and stuff like that from the rain, excuse me. So in time the water has cut through there and made this river, hence the bit of the cutout where the water's going to go under the trestle bridge. But what I started with was just gluing with hot glue some shapes, and as you can see, this one is in front of that one and it sticks out here a bit, and it's just all different shapes I've cut and then just stuck them to the Helix, and then just put a few strengtheners in just till the webbing is put on. And I glued the webbing by just putting the hot glue over the top of the webbing to stick it to the edge of the card, and use a putty knife to actually, stick it to it and make it a bit smoother. Not that it matters, because then that came on. Then what I did was brush a thin layer of shaper sheet plaster, because I thought if it was good enough for shaper sheet, it was good enough for this. I did it a thinnish coat for the first one, and then a thicker coat, and then I use hydrocal, one to make the rocks, but then to put the same colour on everywhere, because hydrocal colours different to plaster from shaper sheet. And shaper and the rocks are made better with hydrocal. It will make with plaster, but it's a different colour. And then what I did on here, instead of sticking some rocks on, small rocks, and I've just put plaster in between, I just brushed that on really thick and layered it. And then I'm going to put some V's and grooves in at different angles to make the black in the colour, to give it some deep crevice effect. And I made a sample piece just to test colours and stuff, and I'm going to tend to do this ready brown to bits of grey in it. all this rock face going round and holding the trestle bridge up. I've just looked at different colours in America, and I think that's the best way of going. You know, that was my most favourite. They do have just grey like we have when sandstone changes colour, but they do have a lot of red as well. So that's how I got that onto there, and I'm going, you know, this is the first stage. I'll just show you different stages as I go along. Right, so the mesh is on now. Now, like I say, it looks messy, but what I do is I put a bit of glue on and then spread it with my putty knife. Now, again, it don't really matter how messy it is, as long as it's stuck, and it is stuck to the shapes. As you can see how varied it looks going in and out. And if you do get some on metal, because it's that cold, it will, and it comes off easier the more there's on it. So I don't think you have to clean it. Now, I can't get my nail underneath it because my nail's going the wrong way. But if I try and hold it like that, yeah. So look how easy it just pops off. So don't worry about it sticking to your metal. Metal is, you know, it'll come off anything, but metal is very cold, so it doesn't want to stick to it. And what I do now is I just give it a brush over with some shape of sheet plaster, and then that makes it go hard, and then I can do what I want after that. Now what I may do on this bit here is I'll coat it all, but only come down to here with rocks, because I just don't know how it's going to work with the feet and the stream. I just don't know, because there's going to be the stream coming from here and then turning to come this way. But I'll give it a cut and then you can see. Okay, so that's it's now the next day. I didn't do any more yesterday afternoon, and this is after the first coat. You can't go mad at it, because the one thing it does is push it through, and if you put more on, if it's starting to go off, it drops off. So it sort of binds on both sides as it pushes through and locks on. So I'll give it the second coat and you'll see the difference with the second coat. But, you know, it's harder now. So now what I did on this side, I left the webbing short. What I've done on this end is just to try it differently. It should make no ape of a difference, but I've left it longer so it ties the two cards together. But it's, you know, as much as I've done that, it's as much for it's the size of the piece of webbing I cut. But I'll give it a second coat and then show you. Right, that's it with the second coat on. What'll happen now is that'll set hard, and then I'll start using Hydercal, stick some rocks on, paste it on thick, make my own. On these I've got to I'm going to put some V's in, you know, maybe scraping it with my putty knife, just to form some, looks like joins and, you know, cracks in the rock. And then do here, and then I'll have to put the bridge up, because it won't go all the way around rock wise, facing where the water is and stuff. It's then got to alter its shape to go how it reduces, and it does the same on this side going up here. So I'm I quite like this way, and especially when it comes to the big hillside on there in that corner. I'll just make some bits of framing for it to sit on, and I've got two big sheets of it, and okay, you could put plaster bandage on, maybe sticking it to the edge, but this is just the edge of the card, but this definitely works, so I'll use it where I can, even if I was like round here where I make my own. I'm going to make the feet for the stone for the feet to stand on of the trestle bridge. Instead of putting plaster bandage over, I may put this stuff over and dab it on to follow the shape. I don't know yet. It's just something new, just to try. We'll have to see. So next thing is hydrocal. Make this one up. Measure for the necks. Basically, this area here starts about where the longest foot is there on the left, and it finishes at the other side as it goes round the corner, and when the average land will be round this area, and then it starts to rise up, which shall then have more face rock coming right out here. And then I'll shape it all the way, down with this tunnel, what's going to be underneath for the Japan to run underneath. So it'll come down and then down to this just to finish it off. That's the plan. I'll just show you a colour roughly of the rocks I'm going to do. I'm wanting to do them a reddy grey colour. I've been researching for America, and I've seen different types of rock, and I'm just I'm going towards more the red on this end over here. So I'll just show you a glimpse of the shot showing the colour, and I just stuck some different colours of bushes on, what I can make into bushes and stuff. Some are dying off because it is going to be in fall, and it's I'm just looking forward to getting some colour on this, but I ain't gonna colour it until all of this area is done, all the stone for the trestle legs to stand on, the lot, so I can just continuously keep the wet line moving, and hopefully that will do a better job than just colouring that segment, then this and that. I don't want it to look like it's in segments. So it'll just stay white for a while, until I get to that stage. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll look forward to speaking to you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.